Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 130 people in 11 different countries. And this is the second in the set of 3 healings with the theme Nurture and Heal Yourself. So let me know if you can see and hear me okay. That's always important. Waiting for confirmation. I can explain what we're going to do today while I'm waiting, but I would love to get that confirmation that you can see and hear me okay. I have to watch myself to make sure. Maybe I'll have to get my phone and watch myself. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna watch myself to make sure the stream is working. Oh, good, thank goodness. Now I don't have to get my phone. Thank you. Thank you. That's very convenient to get that confirmation. Okay, good. So this is, as I said, the second in the set of 3 healings. Thanks for everybody's surveys. Most likely I did read your survey even if it was late. In other words, like if you filled it out this morning. Although, obviously I prefer them not to be late, but whatever. Sometimes I'm late reviewing all the surveys anyway, so it works out fine. You never know. It's always worth filling out, even if you're late. So we're going to be repeating a lot of, not everything, but a lot of what we did in the first healing because it did look to be very effective and another time would be even more effective. So I'm going to just rattle off the names of the techniques that we're going to be doing again that we did in the first healing. And of course, later I'll explain them a little as we do them. Clear maze effect. Maze, like being in a maze, like a puzzling situation. Clear maze effect. Clear boxes of problems. Unblock nurturing loop. So you can sort of free up your energy so you can nurture anybody or anything, but then also nurture yourself specifically. And first chakra work, like say if this was your chakra, first chakra, but it was red and not white and clear, then we melted away hard energy blocks on the lower part of the outer surface so that it did look to help grounding. Not for everybody. Yeah, I think it did for everybody because there were some that still had blocks in the back of their grounding, but it would have been worse. They would have just had no grounding, no grounding flow anywhere if we hadn't done that. So, but a lot of people, they did have very good flow in the bottom of the back of their grounding, releasing in the back of their grounding, and they would not have otherwise. So we're definitely going to repeat that. Melting away blocks in the outer surface, the bottom half outer surface of the first chakra, which is the base of the spine. Helps with courage, safety, and abundance. The major new thing we're doing today is a technique I'll probably call like unblocking your needs mirror. Needs, like what do you need? What does your body need? What do you need? And mirror, like to look in it and see things, right? And it's not just we're not going to unblock just a regular mirror to like say unblock overall self-awareness, although that's good. But I think you can really hone in on your awareness of your own needs. And you don't have to, be at peace with all aspects of you as a spirit and perfectly self-aware. I think we can kind of really focus on what do you need, because this theme of nurturing yourself, part of that is being aware of an accurate version of your needs. Like, what do you need? Because a lot of times people just think, you know, like, oh, I need $1 million, or I need, you know, I need XYZ career, or I need, you know, they're only thinking in a giant level, or B, they're only thinking of other people, or, you know, they're thinking in a distorted way, so they are not recognizing their true needs. Because if you are more aware of your true needs in big and small forms, then it's easier to obviously meet your own needs, which is sort of the core of nurturing yourself and giving to yourself and healing yourself. So the needs mirror, unblocking the needs mirror so that you can see in it more clearly. That's going to be the big new thing today. There were sort of two groups, you know, sort of breaking it down into sort of generalizing the results from the first healing. There were probably more people in the group that just felt better, that felt more mellow, more calm, more present, more functional. But then there was a significant group of people that were irritable, or just aware of their anger at their mother, or aware of their anger at their relatives, or aware of their anger at, you know, whatever, or just feeling angry. And it didn't look like any of it was really new anger. It was just being aware, more aware of pent-up, repressed anger. So I think we can address that through, I mean, there are all sorts of things that can distract you from being aware of your own needs and meeting your own needs, even though that seems so simple, right? You know, you're an adult. If you don't meet your own needs, you're going to be a super hot mess. You're not going to be good to anybody, right? So meeting your own needs seems like the basics of being an adult, right? However, there are a lot of things that can get in the way: pain, distractions, baggage from other people, yada, 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 right? So all the pent up anger towards other people, which could be from past lives, is the thing. You know, like, you could feel a lot of anger towards your mother in this life, but really 80% of the strength of that is your anger, stuck anger towards mothers in past lives, which are not this mother. But it just, you feel it as an anger towards your mother, and you think, well, it must be this mother that I have now, you know, and it is in part, but, you know, a lot of the real strength of it is just all the pent up stuff from past lives. Much like grief. Grief is like that. Everyone thinks that, you know, if somebody close to them passes away, a pet, a loved one, how terrible you feel is really just how much you loved that person that just crossed over. But it is usually not at all because of that. I mean, you feel that it hurts more because you have stuck, it's not flowing out of you. If you had really good flow and you were in grief, it actually would be manageable. But the reason that it's usually so intense, well, A, is because people don't have good flow, especially during those times. Although you could, it is possible. But they have so much pent-up grief from the past. And so they're feeling all of it at once. You know, like pent-up grief from past life partners dying, past life pets dying, past life relatives dying. So anyway, long story short, there's a lot that can get in the way of you meeting your own needs and nurturing yourself. Being aware of what it is that you need, giving it to yourself in a nurturing way. So, you know, anger, fear, grief, those are some big things that get in the way. Which I might not have realized except for those surveys where people were talking about all this anger, and I was like, why is that coming up so much right now? Because at first I thought, oh, it's just a mommy issue because everyone wants their mom to nurture them. But no, there were plenty of surveys about people just being pissed, period, and it wasn't at their mom. So it's just one of the many things that can come up to distract you from being aware of your own needs. So I think unblocking the needs mirror will be a simple way and an approachable way to deal with that. And the other thing, there's sort of a second big thing that we're doing today that I knew last night and then I forgot, but the angels just reminded me. So I'm writing it down quickly so I don't forget again. Okay, so avoidance. Avoidance can get in the way of you nurturing yourself because you can be avoiding things about yourself. Self-awareness, you don't want to feel, so you don't want to be present. But you do, but part of you doesn't, so you're kind of like working against yourself accidentally. So the angels, I was, meditating yesterday and last evening, and I wanted to clear more avoidance. I thought, well, that's good. But then I thought, I clear avoidance all the time. I don't think I'm really avoiding anything big. And the angels were like, yeah, but you should really challenge yourself to do more. And so they explained this example to me of what avoidance is like. So they said avoidance is like, okay, say you could go from A to B, right? And that was your goal, to go from point A to point B. And they were 20 feet away from each other. So you could just go in a straight line from A to B, 20 feet, bam, bam, you're there, done, check, right? But going the direct route, you'd have to pass certain things, like certain baggage of yours would be triggered that you are really trying to avoid. And so you don't want to go the direct route from A to B because you're not trying to, feel your anger towards your mom or feel your resentment towards your siblings or feel, whatever that you would feel if you were just direct and efficient. And so instead you take this 20-mile looped road to get to B, from A to B. You go, because you're avoiding all this personal stuff on the direct route. And so that's how self-avoidance can really complicate your life and really be exhausting because it's like enough. So that's what we're going to work. We're going to work that metaphor of like, okay, there are some direct routes from A to B that would be so much easier for you, but there's baggage, personal baggage of yours on the A to B route, the direct route, and you're avoiding it. And so you're dragging it out subconsciously and doing like something that's way too complicated and time wasting and energy wasting and whatever, right? So that's what we're going to work on, is clearing the baggage so that you can have that simplicity and that efficiency so that you're not avoiding, whatever's on these direct routes. So direct route versus the long route. We're going to clear whatever you're avoiding on the direct route. So I hope that makes sense. So that's sort of the second big thing of today, just because it ties into the theme because, well, if you're avoiding yourself, you're not going to want, that part of you is not going to want to be more present. So you're not going to want to give to yourself and nurture yourself because that would make you more present. So you would seek instead more drama, more, hardship, actually. So we don't want that, right? That would be the opposite of nurturing. So that's how it helps the theme. But also just taking the long roundabout ways to avoid is exhausting. And if you're exhausted, you just don't have the energy to think of like cute little nurturing things you could build into your day. So we're trying to just get rid of the distractions, the time wasting, the energy wasting, whatever is distracting you on any level, just so you can be aware of your needs and, meet them in little ways throughout the day and bigger ways, of course, too. So that's the gist of it. So, and the things that will repeat, oh, I already said the things that will repeat. So that's pretty much it for today. So hopefully that fits. I mean, most of that will fit into healing. We'll see in what form. But that's that. So, of course, later there will be a detailed healing summary that I write and make timestamp links for that will be in the comment section of this video within a day or so. So, if you could give this live stream a thumbs up, or later as a video, give it a thumbs up, whatever, that does help. And then more people can learn how to be centered and the world would be a better place by this much, but it would still help. It would help me in some way. So anyway, here you go. So I will be, of course, you know, we're going to do the 4 essentials first. I always say this, so I guess I don't have to keep repeating it, but it's like sometimes you're overwhelmed and you think, well, I'm overwhelmed because, you know, my wife is sick and my kid's this and that and this and that. But, you know, it's like if you had good flow and presence, it would be weird how not overwhelmed you would be. Do you know what I mean? Like it would be oddly positive, but odd, you know, it would be like, well, I should be really overwhelmed right now, but I'm totally not, you know, because it's all about flow and presence. So like one guy, he's like, I'm really overwhelmed, you know, wrote in a survey and he listed all these, you know, really challenging things in his life, but really he was overwhelmed because the back of chakras 3, 2, and 1 were blocked and the back of his grounding was blocked. So if he had just sort of checked, you know, some of the basics, you know, like grounding flow, he would have seen the back of his grounding all blocked. And then he could unblock that. And then maybe he would have realized, like, how long has the back been blocked? Maybe other things in the back are blocked. Oh, yeah, these chakras in the back are blocked. And then he could unblock those. And then he wouldn't have felt so overwhelmed, even though his wife is still sick, you know, these properties, blah, 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 blah. You know, all the external dramas are the same. So just a reminder that, you know, your inner state really is what dictates how good or bad everything feels to you. And that is very workable. And we're going to work on that right now. So first we'll have 3 minutes of quiet time where I finish my prep and say hi telepathically to the 130 people so they for sure know that the healing's starting. And then I'll start like that, you'll see, and that's how I start. So you'll see that and you'll know, oh, she's starting to heal. And then I'll do that for a minute without talking. And then the rest, the bulk of the live stream is me doing the healing and talking out loud as I do it, explaining what I do. So it is an all levels self-healing walkthrough if you wish to heal yourself as you listen. Okay. So I'm going to check out some of the comments, some of the greetings, just because I like that before I start the healing, but then we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet and then we'll do the healing. Okay, hi from Chicago, can see and hear you. Hello to you, thank you. Hello from Lake Worth, Florida in the US. I can see and hear you, thank you. Sunny, fresh spring day in Chicago. That sounds nice. I'm excited about this theme today. It is not sunny today, but we are doing that bright cloudiness thing. So, and there's no rain. So that's pretty much as good as you can hope for in early March in the PNW, Pacific Northwest. Hi Janet, can see and hear you. Well, hello to you. Hi Janet, see and hear you in sunny Carlsbad, California. Thank you for this healing, you're welcome. Can see and hear you in Evergreen, Colorado. Sunny and 30 degrees. Ooh, that's a little nippy for this time of day. Hi Janet, and you're from Phoenix, Arizona. 64. Ooh, jealous and nice here. Did some gardening already. Look at you. Oh, I have gardening waiting for me, that's for sure. But it's gonna have to wait. Can see and hear you. Thanks for healing me and my spouse. Yes, You're welcome. Hi, Janet. I can see and hear you from cloudy Las Vegas, 55 degrees. 55 and cloudy, I would totally take that. Hi from the UK, Northern Ireland. Hello to you. Hello in Cleveland, Ohio, in the US. Well, hello, hello, hello. Glad you're able to watch live. That's great. Hey, Janet, can see and hear you in Chicago, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And sunny, it looks like from your emoji. That's good. I think I have pent up anger to my dad from past lives, and my daughter has same to me, and possibly from past lives. Past lives. Interesting how that works generationally. Well, it's just that most people have anger towards their parents. I mean, that was the thing. Somebody on their survey, they were like, I have all this anger towards my mother, and that's terrible because she's my mother. And I'm not sure, but I got the impression with my quick read through the surveys that like this person thought, oh God, what a freak am I that I'm pissed at my own mother, you know? But like, okay, for those of you without a background in psychology, just a heads up, like it's almost like a universal human experience that you would have some sort of complicated emotions towards one or both of your parents. And, a lot of it could be from past lives. So, you had some past life dads and you didn't resolve your anger or your sadness towards them. And so you kind of projected into your relationship with this dad or whatever. Or, two, I do want to say, because sometimes people have this need to like glorify parents and how wonderful they are. And, so I want to say for the record that it is possible to have a complete and total sociopath for a parent. Like, unfortunately, fertility and like being a psychopath or a sociopath or someone who's like really mean, fertility can exist with those conditions. So you can have a really mean person who's very fertile and had a bunch of kids, and therefore there can be very cruel parents. Like that's a thing. That's a real thing, because a lot of people in society want to gaslight you and be like, but they're your parents and family is everything. It's like, hmm? you know, like it's a really compulsive thing that people just really want to wish it away and push you into reconciling. And it's okay if, you have a parent who's really, really unkind and unwell and it's not healthy for you to be around them, to not be around them. Like it's your choice. And the angels are not judgy about it. I've never seen an angel be like, sure, your dad's totally abusive, but he's your dad, so you should be around him as much as possible. That's what people end up telling you, but an angel never is like that. The angels are like, we need you to be safe and healthy and whole, and sometimes you just have parents as sort of like something you need to flee from rather than something you need to snuggle up to. So, just a heads up. I am not part of the gaslighting club on parental sociopathy. All right, cool. But the point is, even if your parents were incredibly unkind, or a sibling, or whatever, or half the world is incredibly unkind, you can, the inner state that you have dictates how you feel about things. So there's hope. You can, fix your chakras and fix your auras and have a pretty decent life. So that's that. You don't have to pretend that you have a great parent if you actually don't. Or maybe, your parent and you, it's just a real mismatch, like as far as spiritual age or as far as the communication styles. And sometimes it's irreconcilable. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but there's not one size fits all for that. Okay, enough soapbox on the parent-child thing. All right, so I'm going to be quiet now, finally, for 3 glorious minutes or so. Thank you for your patience. All right, thank you for waiting. So when you heal yourself, one way to do it is to make a copy out in front of you of your energy system. And then as you use your hands that generate gold light to heal the copy, you are healing yourself. And the benefit of that, there are a couple benefits. It encourages clairvoyance, seeing in detail. You can spin around a copy, you can make it big and small, and you can make the copy of your whole energy system or the copy of like just one chakra at a time, whatever you want. And you can do any of this without seeing. Vision, clairvoyance, being able to see energy comes with time. The more present you get, the more all your psychic abilities work. So you can just kind of wing it and it still works if you can't yet see energy. So go ahead and make a copy out in front of you of your energy system, which includes your 17 auras that you have all around you. And then your physical body and your astral body are inside there. And then your 2 groundings, your astral body grounding and your physical body grounding, connect you to the core of the earth. Connect you and your body to the core of the earth. So you have energy centers in the palm of the hand, your hand chakra, big energy center, and then fingertip chakras, 1 in each fingertip. So you set them with your intention to be a metallic gold color, like this glitter. And that way they will generate that color of energy. And gold light is good to use as, it's effective to use to repair and heal and unblock. So let's do, now we're going to do the 4 essentials as quick and efficiently as possible. So grounding or repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. So grounding, just recreate both of your groundings, the one that connects your physical body to the core of the earth and the one that connects your astral body to the core of the earth. And make those 2 groundings very wide as your auras. So about as wide as the heel of the palm of your hand if you were to stretch out your arms. And make these groundings red or orange or yellow. It's probably best to make both groundings the same color. Because to be as present as possible, you want to be on the same page as your physical body. At least while you're awake and trying to be as present as possible. So you want to you create your grounding to go up high as your 3rd chakra, which is where your sternum bone ends right there. That's your 3rd chakra. So bring up both groundings that high and have them stay wide and go all the way down to the core of the earth, red or orange or yellow. And you can set that color without seeing, because your intention, your thought is enough. So that's grounding, and then you use gold light from your hands and you imagine any blocks in your grounding anywhere, including the back and the center part, and just melt the blocks with gold light from your hands. And if you feel like you've been kind of ungrounded for the last day or even the last few hours, it might take a little longer to unblock your grounding than if you've been feeling great all day. So, 2 minutes versus 30 seconds type time difference. Okay, so that's creating your groundings and unblocking them. So then we'll do indie grounding, which is technically related to grounding. So you just check the outer perimeter of your grounding going all the way down to the core of the earth, and you melt away any attachments or anything sticking out. So you want the edges to be nice and sealed and just to go straight down. You don't want them to connect to anybody else's grounding. And you don't want any leaks. And times when you would especially check for indie grounding, and melt away people out of your grounding is times of like group activity. Like if someone in the family passes away, then everybody's communicating more, everybody's triggered more. You definitely check for indie grounding. Wash people out of your grounding, make sure your grounding doesn't attach to anybody else's. Because especially in a situation of grief, but really any part of daily life, you want is really good flow, because that's going to help you to feel less stressed. Your grief will be way more manageable if you have good flow in your grounding. Everything's way more manageable. Okay, so that's indie grounding. So then we'll do the second of the 4 essentials, which would be aura repair of your 17 auras. So you have a physical body aura, which is generated by your major 7 chakras along your physical body spine. And then you have your astral body aura, which is a part of you as a spirit, and it's generated by your 7 major chakras along your astral body spine. And then you have 15 Wei Qi auras, spelled W-E-I space C-H-I, Wei Qi, which is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It has to do with strong boundaries energy. And but the fact that there are 15 Wei Qi auras is something that angels mentioned to me, so it's not strictly traditional Chinese medicine. But anyway, so you have 15 Wei Qi auras, then your astral body aura, and your physical body aura, right? And they can have rips in them, and that's not good. We want to repair the rips. They get rips because people throw energy, whatever. They have little anger issues. So we're going to use composite copy technique. So you just imagine one rip, and with your intention, you have this one rip represent all the rips in your 17 auras that are healthy and gentle to repair right now. And so you have your composite copy rip, and you want to clean it out because you want to repair it with gold light. But if there's so much junk in it, then the gold light doesn't make proper contact and doesn't fully repair it. So we need to clean it out first. So fill it up with sticky gold wax, and that's gold light from your hand that hardens and sticks to whatever's not you. So then you just lift out the junk and the wax together and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, fill it up with sticky gold wax, lift out the junk in one big lump. Angels, here you go. Deep breath. And just keep using gold light from your hands to repair this rip. Now that it's nice and clean, it should grow back well. So that's the basics of aura repair. You may have a few rips left over that were a little more stubborn, so make one more composite copy just of any remaining rips that you still have in your 17 auras. Go ahead and fill that up with sticky gold wax. Remove the junk, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Again, fill it up with sticky gold wax, remove the junk. Angels, here you go. And just repair these remaining rips in your auras. All right, so that is aura repair, repairing the rips. We're going to do a few extras, of course. But, if you're in a rush, you're checking your 4 essentials, you don't have to do all the extras that I always do in these healings. You shorten it as much as you need to get the basics done. But anyway, so we just repaired the rips. So now you can still have like hardness left over. So hardness around the edge, outer surface, I call aura scarring. Hardness in the inner layers. The inner layers meaning the regular aura and the two regular auras, the astral body and the physical body aura, have layers to them, 7 layers each. So like layers of an onion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which go all the way around. So, but you can have like a couple layers of hardness in a certain spot, and so I call that aura bruising. So just, we can melt all of it at once. So just put copies of all your aura scarring and all your aura bruising into a big old pile out in front of you, and take your time and use gold light and melt it all away. And if you have more aura bruising and scarring, just put the any leftover aura bruising and scarring, put copies out in front of you, and melt it away with gold light. All right, beautiful. So check out your auras, see how they're doing now. So you repaired the rips, you got rid of a lot of aura bruising and scarring. At the start of the healing, when I was being quiet, I did some unblocking here and here. So beneath the feet and above the head in the auras. So we could just do sticky gold wax to remove hard objects that might still be stuck somewhere in your energy system, including in your auras. Also, the sticky gold wax could remove energy blocks you're ready to get rid of, invasive beings and invasive people. So just sticky gold wax the whole thing, especially the outer surface of all your 17 auras, the outer surface of both your groundings, and then inside everywhere. So the wax sticks to all the junk. And then your intention, of course, is you want to remove as much as is healthy and gentle to remove right now. So have the wax stick to all that and move it out. And give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. A couple deep breaths. Okay, one more time. Sticky gold wax everything. Outer surfaces, inner surfaces. Have the wax stick to the junk, move it out. Angels, here you go. And then just finish up the repair in case you have any leftover leaks on the outer surface of any of these 17 auras. Just gold light. Check your grounding again. And redo your gold buffer zones. I will link a reference video below for that so that you could learn them if you don't know them. Gold buffer zones, which help protect the aura. Protect your auras. Alrighty, so now the third of the 4 essentials. Creative ring, repair and unblocking. And we will do the enhanced version that we started in the last like 2 healings. This healing and then the first healing of the set and then the last healing of the set before. Where, okay, creative rings are up here, 3 gold rings. They're part of your spirit, and they generate gold light all the time if they're working right, which is very handy. And that gold light gets sent downward to heal and fortify your major chakras along your spine, especially your 7th chakra. So you make a copy out in front of you of your 3 gold creative rings and use gold light to repair the creative rings. So they could be cracked, they could be shattered. One person who said they were feeling overwhelmed, their creative rings were shattered, like lots of breakage. But of course, they thought they were overwhelmed because of this, and this happened in their life. But you know, if you just kind of rein it in and check your basics, you can find inner things that are literally messing with everything, and then you fix those, and oddly enough, things aren't so overwhelming anymore. So just use gold light to repair these creative rings. And if they don't have any cracks, they're not broken anywhere, keep melting cords going into them. You want the flaps to fall shut. So this is a picture of the flaps when they are open. Of like your creative ring, this is the top one. If you just look down, it would look like that with when the flaps are open. So the flaps being open is an irritated state. You don't want that. Just makes it easier for people to cord, because the cords tuck in there into the flaps, into, you know, where the flap is open. So just melt the cords so that the flaps relax more and more and they fall shut. Because you want energy to flow through the middle of your creative rings, but you want your energy to flow through, because your 7th chakra shoots energy upward, and then you bring in new energy from, like, say, the astral that you created with your angels. So you bring it down this way. So you definitely need really good flow here, but you don't need people cording the rings and sending their energy through. So if you can relax these flaps and they shut, then it's a really nice way to have boundaries. And I mentioned this, 1 or 2 healings ago, where you can imagine the people and the beings, invasive people, invasive beings that may be cording your creative rings as like balloons floating above, and the string of the balloon, like there's actually a pair of strings from each balloon that goes into your creative rings on opposite sides. So you don't want that. Right? So you can sort of organize the balloons. So the balloons that are representing invasive beings are on one side, and the balloons that are representing invasive people are on another side. And so the balloons that are representing invasive beings, just have your angels recycle the balloons, and therefore the string disappears and the balloons disappear. So just say, angels, can you recycle all these beings? Any beings that are messing with your creative rings. And then check again, any more invasive being balloons up there according to your creative rings, and just say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? Okay, so then the leftover balloons are just invasive people, and you can just melt those cords. You don't want to ask your angels to recycle people, because A, they won't do it, and B, that's not nice. But it won't happen, so. You just melt the cords. You can remind those people, hey, go talk to your angels, go find your body, you'll have a better day, I promise. Just take a deep breath, go find your body. And just go ahead and melt the strings to the invasive people balloons, so they're no longer corded to you. And then, just let the angels help them to float away. And usually when the creative ring flaps fall shut, then there's a really nice chain reaction in all your major chakras, and most of those flaps fall shut too. It's not perfect, because you could have like a hard object stuck in one of your chakras, which would obviously then still be there, and so then the flaps on that one would still be open. But it still is a pretty decent chain reaction of flaps relaxing throughout all your major chakras. So you can imagine your creative rings, 3 gold creative rings, and then 7th chakras, astral, inside, physical, 6 chakras, 5th chakras, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Right? So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I just relax them all with gold light. And let the flaps relax. All right, and then we could do a little bit of unblocking, a little bit more, I guess, of unblocking your creative rings. And we'll just unblock your major chakras at the same time. So sticky gold wax, put that all around your creative rings, inside, above, below, around, and your 7th chakra especially, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have the wax stick to anything that's not you, cords, beings, people, blocks that you're ready to get rid of. And then just move all that junk to the side with the wax. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Take a couple deep breaths, maybe a little massage or stretching, whatever works. So again, sticky gold wax around your creative rings and all your major chakras. 7 astral and 7 physical. And have the wax stick to the junk and move all that junk out. Angels, here you go. Sometimes you leave stuff there when you don't have to. You're just like feeling tired, which makes you feel more passive, which makes you feel more depressed, which makes you not do anything, right? So you can kind of egg yourself on, like, I can do this. This is time for me to stand up for myself. I need to protect myself. I need to defend my boundaries. This is serious. So do sticky gold wax one more time and just be like, hey, come on. I'm really going to do this. I'm going to stick the wax to all that junk that's healthy and gentle for me to get rid of. And I'm really going to do it right now. And move it out and give it to your angels. Good job. One more time. Sticky gold wax all that junk. Screw that. Are you a junk holder? Is that what you are? No. Have the wax stick to all the junk. Come on. And move it out. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Throw yourself a gold confetti party. You did it. You're amazing. You're a rock star. Okay, great. So that was creative ring repair and unblocking. Plus we unblocked the 7 astral and 7 physical at the same time with sticky gold wax. All right, and we talked about the flaps and relaxed those too. Okay, so now, of the 4 essentials is chakra repair and unblocking. One of the people that felt overwhelmed in their survey, they had a lot of minor chakras that were damaged, but their major chakras were fine. So it could be that they repaired all chakras and everything got a little better, but they still had a lot left over of minor chakra damage. So minor chakras, what the hell are they? Heck are they? So most of them are these acupuncture points. They're really important. They're just not the 7 major chakras of your astral body or the 7 major of your physical. So I just call them minor chakras, but they're really important. So those are minor chakras, plus you have like a Kundalini chakra below your first chakra. You have a chakra 4.5 right there, which is really cool. Helps with flow in the shoulders. You have energy centers that help with flow in the arm channels and the leg channels. So you have a lot of minor chakras that are really important, and then you have your major chakras, which are, of course, a big deal. So just make one, we're going to use composite copy technique, repair them all at once, unblock them all at once. So the basic chakra shape is an open cylinder. So cylinder, round opening, right? So you just make something like that and set it with your intention to represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit. And just use gold light to repair it and to melt cords. And to just melt away any hardness. Chakras can hold a lot of blocked energy. Like, you know, the back of your aura, well, anywhere in your aura can have a lot of blocked energy too, but chakras are like that too. So you can kind of tease out of it a healthy and gentle amount to clear, you know, and just keep teasing out of your chakra, this composite copy, more healthy and gentle blocks that are good to get rid of, good to melt away. So just sort of tease them out of the chakra and just melt them with gold light. Keep breathing. If you need to just take a breather for a sec, you know, go for it. Just check your grounding maybe. You can lift out of this composite copy any energy blocks that are in your chakras in the way of life. They're just making your life harder than it needs to be. So lift out any annoying energy blocks. And just, you could blow them up if you're healing yourself, or hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. So lift out the blocks that are annoying you. Angels, here you go. Lift out the blocks, blow them up, or melt them with gold light, or hand them to your angels. Angels, here you go. And melt those cords. So that the flaps around the outer surface of the chakra openings can relax and fall shut. So then your energy can still go through the big openings, but it's harder for other people to cord if the flaps are relaxed and shut. And our theme for this healing set is nurture and heal yourself. So there could be baggage in your chakras that make it really hard for you to nurture and heal yourself. So let's clear some of that. So anything that's healthy and gentle that you can get rid of in your chakras to help you be able to nurture and heal yourself better. So lift out that junk and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Or blow it up or melt it with cold light. So lift out any baggage in the way of the theme, nurture and heal yourself. Lift out the baggage, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Okay, great. So that was repair and unblocking of all your major and minor chakras at the same time. And you can always like intuitively check a certain part of your body. You know, if it feels weird, check the minor chakras in that area. But yeah, but you can just repair them all at once too. All right, so that was the 4 essentials. Good for us. You're amazing. Okay. Let's do the needs mirror. So the needs mirror, your needs mirror, helps you to see and be aware consciously and or subconsciously, well, subconsciously and or consciously. Well, yeah, definitely subconsciously and hopefully consciously as well, to be aware of your needs, because that's a part of nurturing. You know, you don't want to just give to yourself stuff that you don't need, you know. I mean, it's better if you can really hone in on what you really need. Like maybe what you really need is like, you know, some peace and quiet, right? But maybe that's not entirely possible. Oh, personal example. So one of my dogs, he's very self-destructive. He has nervous system issues, food allergy potentially issues, but anyway, he's really messed up. They did drug testing on him for most of his life, so he's a special dog, right? So sometimes when he gets into a certain mood and you're not there, he will mess with himself. He will like cause wounds, on himself. That's why he's wearing the cone. Or he will drag his butt on the ground and like hurt his legs as he's dragging and hurt his, back end as he's dragging. So peace and quiet is what I need, right? But the reality is I have this dog, right? And if he's in one of those moods, it is what it is, And I don't want to hear him like destroying himself if I'm using the restroom. I have to listen to that and know that he's harming himself while I'm just using the restroom, right? So what did I do this morning? I put him on a leash and brought him into the restroom with me. Not ideal for peace and quiet, but better, right? Because then I get relative peace because he's totally fine and just standing there in the bathroom, like waiting for me to pet him while I'm using the restroom. So that is my need, is peace and quiet. And that was a way for me to acknowledge my need and meet it to the extent that's possible, right? So it's just good to know, what are your real needs? What do you really want? So the needs mirror, that's why we're going to work on it that way. And it will be a healthy and gentle needs mirror. So you won't be aware of like so many needs of yours that it's overwhelming or anything. Right? So the needs mirror, you can just make it like a full-length mirror if you want. I think that probably makes the most sense. So just imagine out in front of you, and you can decorate it, make like a gold frame on it and make it as simple or as ornate as you want, depending on what style of aesthetics you have. You can put flowers, rainbow colors, gold, brown, earth tones, whatever you want. Right? And so this, and just have it with your intention that this is your needs mirror. So it will help you be aware of your own needs, to kind of see yourself, but see your needs. What do you really need? As opposed to like, society tells you need to be skinny, right? But what do you really need? Society tells you a lot of shallow garbage, but, like society tells you need a new car this year, right? But deep down, you probably don't. Right, so your actual real needs mirror, right? And then we want to be not distracted, right, by anger or grief or sadness or drama or pain from other people, whatever, right? We want to be able to be aware of these needs so that you're more likely to meet them in little ways along in your day, right? So check to see if there's any film or any distortion or anything blocking you from seeing yourself in your needs mirror. Okay, and maybe there's like a frosty ice covering over your needs mirror. Maybe there's like a big bunch of black mud all over your needs mirror, whatever, right? So all that stuff, that's just energy distracting you from knowing your needs and then of course meeting them, right? So melt it away. Melt away all the junk in front of you and your needs mirror, in between you and your needs mirror. And obviously this is something that you'd probably work over time. It's not going to be perfect right away maybe, but still worth doing. And you could use your intuition, like, gee, what is this layer of ice? Oh, that layer of ice is from my mother. Okay, whatever, I'm gonna melt it. Gee, what is this layer of mud? Oh, that's from a past life father. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna melt it. Yeah, you don't have to know what it is though. Just melt anything that's covering or distorting the image as you look in your needs mirror. So, and you want to improve it. You want to improve the accuracy so that you can more accurately see yourself in your needs mirror. So you're more accurately perceiving your own true needs, to the extent that's healthy and gentle. So once you've seen a level of improvement and it's also a healthy and gentle amount, then you could stop and just say, hey, I'm going to let my angels help me with this later. So you can do more later in your sleep or subconsciously when you're awake, whatever, or consciously with this recording. So that's your needs mirror. Unblocking your needs mirror. It's pretty simple. So good job. So the other new thing, the other big new thing that we're doing today is this avoidance. We're clearing avoidance so that you can take the direct route from A to B. That's shorter, more efficient, saves you energy and focus, versus the long route. And I explained this in the intro that, if you imagine like a direct route from A to B that's 20 feet and it's straight, and you could take that, except that on that direct route, there's all this inner baggage that, or inner truths and or inner baggage that you're trying not to be aware of. And so instead of, you'd rather avoid all that. And so it causes you to complicate everything so much. And so what we're going to do instead is be aware of the direct path, and you don't have to know what it is literally in your life. But just imagine, okay, how many places am I doing that? Oh, I'm doing that 8 different places. Okay, fine. So you imagine the 8 paths, imagine the 8 direct routes, and whatever baggage is on those 8 direct routes that you're trying to avoid, and then just melt the baggage away. So just imagine. So that's explaining. So then we could do, right? So that was explaining. So now we will do. So say you're, maybe 8 is too much to start with, but you don't have to do just one. You could do a couple at once if you want, even if you're starting. It's up to you. But you imagine a direct route that'd be so much easier for you and super healthy and efficient for your time and energy, right? From A to B, point A to point B. But there's stuff that you're avoiding. And so you're not going to take that. You're going to take this long road around, right? And that's obviously a waste of your time and energy and distracting, right? So go ahead and imagine the baggage along the direct route that you're trying to avoid and just melt it. So then you don't have to avoid it anymore. So you can imagine it as boxes, maybe black boxes or just piles of junk, however is not intimidating, and just melt the baggage on the direct route. Melt whatever it is that you're avoiding so that you can take that most direct, most healthy route. Okay, so let's do that again. Check your grounding too, if you're feeling odd at all. Unblock your grounding. Okay, and imagine one or several situations where there's a direct route and then there's this long route. And the direct route obviously is, in this metaphor, is the healthiest route. It's direct, it's efficient and healthy, but there's stuff that you're avoiding. And so you don't want to take the direct route. So then we're just going to melt away. What are you avoiding on the direct, efficient, healthy route? Melt away any baggage, any problems from other people, whatever it is you're avoiding on the direct route. And maybe, once you do that, you can imagine, see if you're, buzzing forward on the quick direct route. If you're not, just keep melting more baggage to get that sense of like, yep, I can take the direct route now. All right, good job. So again, if that was cool, you can always do more later. There's a healthy, gentle amount, but you can do more later. So you can remind yourself, hey, I could work on this with my angels later. Oh, right, good job. So now we're going to repeat some things that we did 2 days ago, because I saw that it was a big deal. It was funny because some people, clearing the maze effect really helped them. Like one person was able to make a lot of progress on taxes. One person was able to be more present at work. And, it just depends so the maze effect is where part of your energy is stuck in a confusing situation. And it could be just subconsciously, but it's like your mind is kind of, like a rat stuck in a maze. I drew this image of a maze. Like, say you're like a lab rat and this is a maze and you're in there and you're trying to, you went in here and then the what you have to do is get out the other end, right? But, you're like all confused, like, where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I go? Right? So it could be that in a lot of different ways, your mind is sort of, caught in these little mazes. And so, but you can clear the baggage and get rid of the maze and you're not stuck in it anymore. And so that, again, really can streamline your energy and give you more, because you have to have, it's easier to give to yourself and nurture yourself if you're not caught up in a lot of dramas. So that's explaining the maze effect. So now we will do. So you just imagine, consciously or subconsciously, and they could be from past lives, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to make logical sense. But just imagine how many maze effects are you caught up in right now on any level, consciously, subconsciously, in the past, in the future, in the present, whatever, right? And you can just imagine them all like little puzzles and you're caught in them, or little mazes, right? And then just use a lot of gold light and just melt away. And you can say, angels, is this okay for me to clear all this? And then just use lots of gold light and melt away the mazes. And as you're doing that, you're melting the baggage and the suck energy that keeps you caught in that little confusing situation. So just clear your maze effect by melting the baggage. And so you'll probably see the mazes just disappear one by one. And take a few deep breaths into all your major joints. And you can just notice, how are your thoughts right now? How is your mind? How is your breathing? And there can be environmental factors that encourage you to get caught up in the maze effect type situations. Like maybe being on Twitter and seeing all these people arguing about so many different things and hating on each other and whatever. Like it could be that little parts of your mind is like, why do they think that way? What's going on? Or I didn't know about that situation. And so you get caught up in these little things, so that at the end of looking on Twitter, you're like more mentally scattered than you were before. So you can clear that. Also, caffeine can have that effect on people's minds, like get them like all hopped up, and their mind can be more like a rat in the maze than it would have been otherwise, right? So since I just talked about those things, maybe there are a couple more maze effects that are healthy and gentle for you to clear. So if there are any maze effects that you got caught up in, maybe from social media or from caffeine or whatever, some stressful situation. Just melt the baggage that gets you caught up in the maze effect, and just let it melt away. And again, be aware of your joints. Breathe into your joints. Be aware of your mind and your breathing. Okay, awesome. So that was the maze effect. Clearing the maze effect. Now, boxes of problems. That one was an interesting one. I thought, well, you know, it's cute. We did it, so we can move on. We don't have to do it again. But the more surveys I read, the more I noticed it helped people. It's like you clear out boxes of, like, okay, so the maze effect is sort of like you're caught in this sort of analytical loop or some kind of confusion. You're trying to solve it, right? Boxes of problems is sort of a cousin to that, where, you know, maybe the box of problems is like sadness from somebody that you know, just kind of dumped in your space. So subconsciously, you feel like you need to make that person happy. And you're feeling their sadness in the meantime. And you can't make them happy, and now you're feeling their sadness. And consciously, you may just feel unmotivated or something, you know, or lazy. So boxes of problems, it can be your own problems, but a lot of times it's from dumped energy from other people or things you took on from other people. So like I was looking at a sample person, this lady, this client of mine, she pays for her to get the triplets and her husband and one of her husband's kids and her mom. And her husband takes on people's problems. So this clearing boxes of problems thing was really helpful for him. He still takes on people's problems though, but we got rid of a bunch of what he was storing. And it's pretty ingrained in him to, like, because when he was a kid, if he would take on his mom's problems, his mom seemed to like him more and be nicer to him. So he learned that, hey, people like me better if I take on their problems. So I mean, he's just one example. People have different reasons why they keep the problems that were dumped on them. But it did seem that once you, like one example, this woman, she's often manipulated by this person that she knows. And that person, part of how she manipulated her was to hand her her problems. Because if someone hands you their problems, it feels like something you have to fix because it's in your space. So it's like, oh, wow, what do we do now? You know, versus like that expression, which I love so much. Like, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. Like with that, I mean, you may not say that to somebody because it sounds a little rude, but but it's actually a very psychic awareness type cool thing. It's like a sort of a boundaries thing of like, wait a minute, that's actually your problem, and you're trying to hand it to me and make it my problem, but it's actually still your problem and only your problem. And I have free will and I have choice. And I can think of what I need today, and if that fits with it, and if I want to give you this assistance, you know, whereas if they just shove it in your space, a lot of times it's very manipulative, and it removes that whole decision process, and you just fall into helping them and trying to fix their problem automatically. So anyway, that's how clearing boxes of problems really helps people with boundaries, because if you don't have a whole backlog of this person's problems, then you can kind of tell when they do it again. You're like, wait a minute, hold on, something just happened. I think I'm being manipulated. Whereas if you have, like, you know, 2 years of their boxes already in your space, you just like on autopilot the next time they do it. So anyway, It may not fix everything, but it helps. So that's why we're going to do it again. Clearing boxes of problems, which are often other people's problems that have been dumped on you, but whatever. And these problems obviously can distract you from nurturing yourself, thinking of your own needs, being aware of your own needs, healing yourself. Okay, so just imagine any boxes of problems that are in your space. It doesn't matter where they came from. If they were yours, they are yours from a past life, from this life. There are other people's that were dumped on you. Just whatever. Boxes of problems that are in your way, preventing you from nurturing yourself, being aware of your own needs. And just, you could blow them up. You can melt them with gold light. You could just hand them to your angels if they're not clearing. So again, we'll do it a second time. Just put out in front of you any copies of any boxes of problems you have in your space. If you don't like boxes, just make piles or whatever. But boxes of problems that you have in your space that are getting in the way of you being aware of your own needs and nurturing yourself and healing yourself. So just be aware of these boxes of problems, and you can soak them in red earth energy. You can melt any cords that are going into them from you or other people, and you can melt these boxes away. And just take a couple deep breaths and notice how this feels to have less of these problems in your space. Because that idea of being in the moment and enjoying the moment, it really helps if you do get rid of all this junk. Because if you don't get rid of all these boxes of problems, then, you're like, oh my God, I have to solve world hunger and solve world peace and get these 5 people to be happy that are never happy, and, meet 10 people's expectations, and I have to do all this stuff right now. How can I just be, So with just breathe in and let yourself just exist for a second. For one moment, let yourself not have to solve world hunger and world conflict. And add on to this. Let's clear all or nothing baggage. So like how I invited you to, be in the moment and just feel some calm and rest for a second and not solve world hunger and world peace and, solve all the conflicts in the world and yada yada. Okay, so that's good. But then, you might be a real kind-hearted person and you do want to help other people, right? But how do you not get back into that stuck place where subconsciously you're just sad that you can't solve all the world's problems? Like how do you do your baby step making a difference stuff and still be, the amount that you can do and be safe and healthy? How do you do that amount and not like mentally or emotionally overcommit to like, okay, I'm going to solve all the conflicts in the world today. Psychologically, you're trying to do that this morning, So that's all or nothing baggage that makes you feel like you have to make everybody happy. You have to do everything for everybody today, or nothing at all, right? So you're not going to care about anybody. You're not going to help anybody, or you're going to help the entire world and fix everything now. Right? So that's all or nothing baggage that you feel like, okay, I'm either going to overgive to the nth degree or I'm not going to give ever to anybody, right? So just put out the baggage in front of you that makes you feel like that you have to be all or nothing, that there's no healthy baby step amount for you. So just put that all or nothing baggage out there, and then you can just blow it up or melt it with gold light. And you may have all, so that was sort of all or nothing baggage around giving, but then there can be all or nothing baggage around productivity. It can be all or nothing baggage about a lot of things, but all or nothing baggage about productivity is like, you know, you're aware of like all that you ideally want to get done, and so it's totally, it can be overwhelming because then you're like, if you don't do it all in one day, you feel terrible. But it's not possible to do it all in one day. You know, like, where's your healthy and gentle amount? Of like, what can you do realistically in the next few hours, you know, based on the realities of your day, right? So put out in front of you any baggage that makes you feel very all or nothing about, even subconsciously, about your productivity. That if you don't fix everything and do everything and accomplish everything and finish everything, your day is a total failure, right? You may as well just give up, right? So put out all your all or nothing productivity baggage and just melt it away with gold light, or blow it up, or give it to your angels. You know, one of my clients, who's, I think he's around 70 or something, he was, you know, talking in his survey about, you know, coming to grips with it. You know, as he's aging, he has less energy, less physical strength. And if you have all or nothing productivity baggage, that can be really rough. I mean, it's an adjustment either way, mentally, emotionally, physically, to come to terms with the realities as you age, right? But, and you know, optimize what you can within that, of course. But if you have this all or nothing baggage and you have diminishing energy level and physical capacity, it can be sort of like a mental train wreck in your brain. Like, I need to do everything, but I'm less active and less, you know, energetic because I'm 70 and not 20, you know. So just put out in front of you all your all or nothing productivity baggage, all your all or nothing exercise baggage, all your all or nothing baggage, any of it, you know, that makes you feel like if you don't do everything right now, you're so screwed, right? So just melt that stuff away. All right, cool. So that was, first we did boxes of, well, we did maze effect, we did boxes of problems, and then we did clearing something new, which is clearing all or nothing baggage, first around giving and then around productivity. Good job. Okay, so unblock the nurturing loop is something that we did 2 days ago that I want us to do again. And I think it's good to do this the two new things that we already did, we did right after the 4 essentials, the unblocking your needs mirror and the clearing the avoidance so you can take the direct route. I think those are really good to do with this, unblocking the nurturing loop. So like if you keep unblocking your nurturing loop, it just helps if you also do the other two things, the unblocking your needs mirror and unblocking clearing whatever you're avoiding, so you can take the direct route. So the nurturing loop, I drawn a diagram. You can imagine it like this, or you can imagine it some other way. Like the nurturing loop could just be like, not a loop, but like a river, or whatever you want, but the idea is there's a flow that represents, it's not a literal thing, like you have nothing in your space that goes out and in like that, literally, but it's just it's a way to imagine, your nurturing energy. And this is nurturing. The first part of the loop is just your nurturing energy in general. So you see, is that all blocked or is that flowing? And then this part is nurturing energy towards yourself. Can you nurture yourself? And any blocks around here would mean that you can nurture everybody else, and maybe you do it a lot, but you're really trying to get some back here, but it's not working because there's all these blocks right here, all this baggage. So you unblock the whole thing so that you have this free flow of your own nurturing energy, so you could choose to nurture others and also have plenty, more than enough to nurture yourself. So that's the nurturing loop. It's a way to unblock whatever is in the way of you nurturing yourself and nurturing other people, but the whole point is to be able to nurture yourself with that loop. So just imagine, and again, if you prefer a river, maybe the first half of the river is nurturing in general, and then the second half of the river is being able to nurture yourself. And so you unblock the whole thing so that you can have good flow in the nurturing yourself part for sure. But I like the loop. So anyway, just imagine any baggage in the way of your nurturing loop and melt it. And again, you want to imagine what's healthy and gentle to clear right now, and then melt it away. And I think this too is why some people felt more peaceful, because just being able to nurture yourself, it doesn't have to be through like physical cups of tea and putting on gloves if you're chilly, or putting a blanket on if you're chilly. It can be just an energy of like you're hugging yourself. It can be just a thing without like a physical action that goes with it, but just this sense of like you're hugging yourself, you're here with yourself, you're here with your body, you're as opposed to like being all scattered and all over the place. You're using your nurturing energy that is meant for you, and that can feel very satisfying. So again, just imagine the nurturing loop that represents your ability to nurture, and just unblock it so that you have all the options you need. All right, and so again, that's the healthy and gentle amount for now. For me, healing people. So for you, healing yourself, is that the healthy and gentle amount? If so, you can stop and then just, you know, ask your angels to help you later with it, or, you know, do it in your sleep with your angels, or use the video later. So that's unblocking your nurturing loop. Okay, so another thing that we're repeating, but I'm kind of expanding on it, is we did this first chakra work, and at the time I used a cat food can, but I don't have a cat food can right now. But anyway, I do think it helped people's grounding. So it's like your major chakras are along your spine, 7 astral chakras and 7 physical body chakras. And the first chakra is at the base of the spine. They're numbered, you know, like floors in the building, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so 1 through 6, the round opening is in the front and in the back. So it's like an open cylinder like this, you know. And so the first chakra, you can imagine a copy of it out in front of you. And what we did is we melted away junk, you know, hard caked on junk in the bottom half, especially. I mean, we unblocked the whole thing, but we, especially anything that just sort of like clamped on the bottom there, any hard junk, because we wanted the first chakra to kind of hug the earth, you know, and have like a natural connection to the earth. I mean, obviously if you ground it, it has a connection to the earth, but with just all that hard junk there, it just gets in the way of some of the power that the first chakra has. And it did seem like if you unblock that more, your first chakra is hugging the earth more, and so your grounding blocks up less naturally. So that's good. So I want to do that, but I want to do all the major chakras at the same time. The same idea though. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are oriented this way. Unblock especially the lower half, the outer surface, lower half. 7th chakra is oriented this way in the top of your head. So round opening the top, round opening the bottom. So again, it has to do with obviously helping the overall chakra functioning, but helping it to kind of hug the earth more. So the external, any melting away external blocks, especially in the lower half. So that's fine. The 7th chakra is oriented this way. So any blocks, like especially around here and here, you know, so the more you melt those, the more kind of the chakra has this link with the core of the earth better. So just imagine, and again, you can imagine them separately if you want, 7 astral, 7 physical chakras, but I'll imagine them together probably. So imagine the astral inside the physical. So it just looks like one set of 7, but it's really astral and then physical. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just be aware of all the blocks that are healthy and gentle to melt away right now, especially the outer surface, the bottom half. Like I said. And you can move them out and melt them, or just melt them right in place. Move them out. Izzy, shush, shush, shush. Move out the blocks. You could blow them up if you're healing yourself too. Move out the blocks. Give them to your angels if you want. Angels, here you go. Move out the blocks. Melt them. Okay, so I think that's the healthy and gentle melt. And again, it was extra unblocking of all the major chakras this time. The outer surface and the lower, whatever's on the lower part of the outer surface. So for 6 through 1, it looks like this. So whatever's here, all that hard stuff, just get that off so the chakra can function better, energy flowing in and out. And it can kind of link up with the earth better without all that hard junk there. And then 7th is oriented this way, so we sort of unblock the whole thing and the bottom. So it's linked more to the core of the earth. Izzy, I don't really want to hear that, okay? Shush. Okay. So that was chakra unblocking, but especially the outer surface, the lower outer surface, which will hopefully help your grounding, your actual grounding, but then also just help you, each chakra be more grounded so that you can be more present. But I'll take a look at that and see how much that helps when I check out the surveys tomorrow. And again, you don't have to tell me how much it helps. You just tell me how you're doing in the survey. Yeah, I think we're close to being done. One extra thing I want to do about that unblocking the nurturing loop. One extra thing, because I was looking at a sample person and she did clear a lot from her nurturing loop, but right around like here in her nurturing loop, there's this energy from her mother of like, take care of your sister, take care of your brother. And so her nurturing energy tends to go to everyone and to her siblings, but then not much going to her. And if she can remove this whole sort of like brainwashing from her parents, then she could have a choice then and nurture herself and choose how much she wants to do for each sibling and choose how much she wants to do for each family member, each client, each friend. But if you have this sort of, you know, your mom or your dad or somebody in this nurturing loop sort of telling you who you need to pay attention to, then that messes up the system. This is supposed to be you with free will making your own decisions and choices, right? So we'll do nurturing loop again quickly, and we'll just, you know, anything that's in the way of your free will, you know, anything that makes you fixate on, you know, oh, give to your siblings, think of your siblings, you know, whatever, any energy from somebody else on your nurturing loop, and just hand it to your angels. But any sort of like, oh, focus on your mom, focus on your dad. Like, my birthfather used to avoid my mom quite a bit. But he would say before he left, you know, on some business trip, he would say, take care of your mom, you know, or look after your mom, do this for your mom. And like, meanwhile, we're like 8 years old, you know? So he's like gone, but this whole house full of kids, he's like, well, take care of your mother, you know? It's like, yeah, good job, dude. So just check out your nurturing loop. Do you have anything like that? And it could be from a past life, you know, but somebody giving you an assignment of who you're supposed to nurture. And just take all that out, because this is supposed to be about you making free will decisions. So just remove anybody else's orders or rules from your nurturing loop. All right, a couple deep breaths. All right, so that was an extra unblocking, nurturing loop, removing anything that was in the way of your free will. Like, you know, messages from your mom, for example, saying help your siblings. Or messages from your dad saying help your mother. You know, I mean, it's there are healthy ways to try to teach one's child to be, you know, thoughtful and considerate, but that's not what we're just clearing. We're clearing sort of an invasive kind of brainwashing way that can happen, that then impairs you from thinking for yourself later in life, which we don't want. All right. So just comb through your whole space. Be aware of your flaps of your creative rings and just melt away cords and unblock your creative rings so that those flaps can relax and fall shut again. And same thing with your major chakras, just relax and unblock them, melt cords so that the flaps can fall shut again. A little extra healing for your neck and your shoulders and your hips, your lower back, your upper back, your legs. Your arms. Redo your grounding, red or orange or yellow. Unblock it. All right, so you can just ask your angels, angels, can you please give me a healing? Help me to wrap up this healing that I did for myself. All right, good job. You did it. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo-woo. All right, excellent. So I'm going to do a little brief chat now to end the live stream. So if you have any comments about how this healing was for you, and you can provide context. Maybe you just healed yourself. I didn't heal you. Or maybe both. I healed you and you healed yourself. How are you doing? Is there a specific part of the healing that you noticed in some way? Do you have any comments about the theme, nurture and heal yourself? Any follow-up questions about the theme or something I said? And just a reminder that you can post questions under any video at any time, and I get to them when I have a chance and post a reply. And sometimes it can be a couple weeks, but usually within a month I catch up on everybody's posted comments and I post a reply under the video. All right, so if I don't get to everybody's comments now, repost them under a video and I will get to them sooner or later. All righty. Someone says, hi, Janet, and you're mentioning your initials. Thanks for the healing. I feel like I'm finally making small changes towards a love life. Oh, that's nice. Are there any angel messages I'm not hearing, especially in regards to, and you mentioned somebody's initials? No, your angels show me like you're crystal clear as far as hearing with that person. Hearing angel messages regarding that person. They give me a thumbs up. They using the word accurate. You are hearing accurately. So, okay. Someone says, thank you, Janet. I've been not doing energy work and I see the difference. Glad to be back with you. The creative ring healing made me sigh big 3 times. Well, that's nice. Yeah, it could be a real relief to fix that traffic jam up there and just to get them repaired too is it's very important. Yes, well, good. Glad to hear. Someone says, thanks so much for the healing, Janet. I feel relaxed and calm. Well, you know what? I should look at that. Yeah, if you had put your initials, that would be a little better for me to look at you. But I would say redo chakra healing because chakras 3, 2, 1 still have some damage. So redo chakra repair. We did chakra repair and unblocking as one of the 4 essentials. So just redo that again because some of your minor chakras still need more repair, and then especially major chakras 3, 2, and 1 need more repair. So you should just do it again. But I mean, what you did really helped, but just it's not uncommon that when there's a lot of damage, you might have to, do things twice to kind of finish getting things back in shape. So your auras look pretty good, although there's up here, upper back, could use more repair. So you could just redo the whole 4 essentials, but especially chakra repair, so you get those major chakras repaired. That's a big deal. But good. I'm glad the creative ring healing helped. That's awesome. And I know how that feels. This is Smokey. He's very mischievous. All right. Somebody says, thank you for the healing, Janet. I feel relaxed and calm. I've been working on paying down debt. Good for you. And being better with money. Anything I can work on energetically for that. I've never been able to budget well. Yeah. Okay, so the basic logic of budgeting, and of course the more general answer is you can clear energy blocks in the way of you, having mental clarity around finances and budgeting. So you can just, make piles of your baggage that gets triggered by the idea, the concept even of budgeting and taxes and, salary and debt and all that stuff, right? So that's important. But that's, of course, the first thing. But then if I look at sort of like, okay, there's money in and then there's money out into bills and different expenses that you choose to have as well. So there's the necessary expenses and the optional expenses, right? And the money in would be your salary. And it seems like, the money in and then the essential expenses and the optional expenses, there's like this weirdness in between that like your mind sort of gets fuzzy about, and it's like you're like, I don't want to think about that. So it looks like what's here is like this white cottony sort of resentment that you have. So I'm wondering, it doesn't seem past life, it seems like this life. So my question, which is rhetorical, don't answer it in the chat or anything, but have your parents given your siblings financial assistance that they did not give you? Is there some sort of a disparity or difference between your parents and their way that they assist you versus the way they assist your siblings? Because that's what that murky weirdness seems to be, like some kind of a frustration about, maybe they helped them out and they didn't help you out, or some kind of a guilt, or there's some weirdness around your parents and your siblings. So I would say family money baggage, clear that, so that you can just see clearly, okay, here's my money coming in, and then here's my money coming out into, maybe savings is one of them, and essential expenses, optional expenses, and just kind of, because you want to have clarity. That's essentially what budgeting is. It's like you have enough conscious clarity to just be able to play around with it and allocate and have conscious awareness of the situation, rather than, kind of just, like, well, whatever, So, so yeah, it looks like there's some family weirdness, like you're some kind of judgment or resentment or resistance that you have around family money dynamics. which don't have to be a part of your little budget energy, but they seem to be. Okay, so hope that makes sense. The other day, someone says, the other day my dad told me he feels my presence in his house all the time and sometimes doesn't see my mom because he thinks it's me. Is it just Dottie or is part of my spirit there? Is he just Dottie or is part of my spirit there? I think he's confusing you for one of his angels. So he is seeing something, but that's one of his angels. Like we all have with us, literally like next to us or in the room with us, an angel, well, a spirit guide, and maybe at least one angel all the time. Maybe just a spirit guide. The angel comes and goes, different angels, because you have at least 3, maybe 4. So his spirit guide is always with him, but his spirit guide doesn't really try to get him to notice him visually, but one of the angels does. Maybe just, I don't know why, it centers him a little if she shows herself a little, but his mind tells him, oh, that's my daughter. Maybe he doesn't know he has angels. If he's open to that kind of information, you can just tell him, oh yeah, I think that's your angel when you think it's me in your house, because I tend to not jump in your house. But if he's not open to that, don't say anything, obviously. You don't want to freak him out. But yeah, no, I don't think it's you hopping in his house that often. I mean, maybe like once a month you'll hop in his house. Enough of your energy but yeah, no, he's seeing his angel but thinking it's you. Sometimes that happens like in people's dreams, that they think they're meeting with me, but they're meeting with one of their angels, but they sort of consciously interpret it as me because I'm always talking about angels. Okay. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Janet. I really needed it today. I am still pretty out of sorts. What do angels suggest I work on? Yeah, I want to say, it's hard to remember, but because I don't have great memory, but I think you were one of the people that had a shattered creative race. But anyway, they're okay now. Pretty out of sorts. You're in 7 through 3, so you're just not in 2 and 1, and layers 2 and 1 are too tight. So it's like 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like it's like these inner layers are just like. Eh. So you could just work, unblocking the first and second layers up top and beneath your feet. You're in the way. You're in the way. I already fed you. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Are you just lonely? Anyway, this is Smokey. He's not really into getting kisses. Zen really likes getting kisses on her forehead, but he's like, yeah, whatever. Pet me. Everyone thinks, telepathy with your animals is like something really amazing, which I thought it was really amazing before I had it, but now that I have it, it's like the conversations are very basic. It's kind of like, can you feed me again? No, I'm not feeding you until 6 o'clock. Why is that? You should feed me all the time. Well, because you're already pretty chubby. If I fed you more, you'd be even chubbier. That's okay, Mom. I don't mind being chubby. Like it's a very, it's not like the most profound conversations that you've ever had. It's sort of like if you talk to a 2-year-old or something, or a 3-year-old maybe. Okay, so going back to reading comments. Yes, so that person that feels pretty out of sorts. Yeah, so yeah, I would expand 2 and 1. All your chakras are repaired. It's just 2 and 1 are a little blocked too, but I would say it's mostly aura unblocking in 2 and 1. There's that, if you want to walk through video, there's that video, Get Present in 2nd and 1st chakras. You can search Janet Wright, Get Present in 2nd and 1st chakras if you want. But yeah, things are mostly working now. Your auras are repaired, your creative rings are repaired, your chakras are repaired, except 2 and 1 are pretty blocked. So you could do like chakra filaments, unblock those, just to like get things breathing again. Because you kind of remind me of like a raisin, you're like kind of like sucked in. Everything's a little compressed. But I think if you can keep your grounding flowing and unblock those inner 2 layers and the backs of the chakras, you just should. It might take a few hours for you to just kind of get everything decompressed enough, but you're in good shape now. So there's no major damage of anything. Okay, I hope that helps. Someone says, I feel if I nurtured myself, I can get started on my love life. Can you help me hear my angel's advice? I used to hear go to Florida, meet a man soon. Now I hear that was an invasive being speaking. Oh, bummer. I had that once years and years ago. Um, I used to I used to ask tree spirits for love advice. Turns out that's a really bad idea because tree spirits will just tell you whatever you want to hear. Like they're just, I mean, it's not their thing to be like love life advisors. Tree spirits, spirits that take care of trees. They're just nice. They just want everyone to be happy. So I was really stuck on this one guy, and they would always encourage me to like don't give up, don't give up. But they weren't really reading the reality of the situation. They were just trying to be nice. So I didn't realize that. I should have just been talking to my angels. But I wasn't that good at that back then. So so anyway, I got some pretty bad advice. Pined after this guy I shouldn't have really been pining after for too long. But anyway, uh, yeah, I mean, it looks like where you're at. I mean, the weather's nice, your angels like that. But yeah, they don't really need you to be in a certain place to help your love life. They feel like they can handle the making the man appear when you're ready. It's just the being ready part. Um, um, they feel like you're kind of in a child space. And that if you like you're kind of in a child space as far as like your boundaries with the world and with people and your sort of your outlook and like money situations too. It's like you're not, there's something about it like there's some fear in the way of you taking care of yourself, like as far as energy boundaries, as far as money and earnings, as far as a lot of things. And so there's some way in which like you're not okay in the world. It's like a puzzle that you haven't figured out. But it doesn't have to be that way, but it seems like that's sort of the mental situation that you're in, like that you're perceiving, like that you really don't kind of understand the world. And you don't have to have total clarity before you find a decent, compatible relationship, but your angels are trying to give you a little more time to get a little more clarity about yourself and the world and how you're going to, operate financially and emotionally and, like that sense of empowerment and confidence and, being an adult and being strong and feeling like you can take care of yourself. They just want you to get a little further on that, and then, they're happy to help you to meet the right people. So it's not exactly self-nurturing. Self-nurturing would maybe be like 20% of it, but the other 80% would be this sort of be an adult, clear this sort of a sense of like that you're in a free fall and you don't, you have no control over your life, clear that so that you're on solid ground and you're not depending on other people for solid ground. So I hope that makes sense. And again, you don't have to fix that by this afternoon. But yeah, it has to do with adult empowerment, confidence, 2 feet on the earth, be a tree. Don't be the bird in the tree, be the tree. That kind of idea. So, hope that helps. um, Someone says, clearing the boxes of problems felt amazing, like lifting cement out of my space. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Someone says, hi, Janet. I would love to have a boyfriend to nurture me. Yeah. I'm laughing because, not because that's not a legitimate thing. It's just that a lot of times, like self-nurturing, I mean, like what the other poster just said, like, okay, well, nurturing yourself, does that help your love life? Yes. So if you're not nurturing yourself enough, can you just manifest a guy to do, or a girl, or whatever gender you're looking for, or non-gender, whatever works for you? Yeah. Can you just find your person to nurture you and solve the problem? And the problem with that is, if you don't nurture yourself enough, like as much as you need from you, like people tend to underestimate their need for self-nurturing. And then it creates some pretty weird imbalanced dynamics if they do have a relationship. Like case in point, say you have a husband who likes to watch sports all day on Sunday, right? And he's a decent guy the other 6 days of the week, but he just likes to watch sports all day on Sunday. And that could be just a marriage wrecking deal breaker if the wife, she doesn't meet her own needs and she's waiting all week to get nurturing that she's really not self-nurturing. And it creates like an extra hunger for nurturing. And so then like that person can kind of lose their crap if the other person isn't nurturing them like every single day and isn't sort of doting on them every single day. It just, you might snap. I mean, I'm not saying you personally, but it's just, there are a lot of reasons and situations where, so I would say, look at how much you need to self-nurture you, like not how much you think, but like literally just look at it. And are you nurturing yourself enough? And if not, what do you need to do to clear the shit to get that, to make that happen? Because it's a lot easier to manifest a person who can nurture you if you are nurturing yourself. If you're not nurturing yourself, it attracts you to assholes, basically, who also do not nurture you, who also ignore you. If you're ignoring yourself, you tend to attract people who will ignore you, who will ignore your needs, so it's kind of an unfair irony. So I would say how you get a partner that can acknowledge your needs and to a healthy extent meet your needs, you have to do that part where you meet your own needs. So yeah, so do that part. Hope that makes sense. If not, you can post again under a video. Like, for example, any video really you want, but I do have specific like love life Q&A videos. If you want to post under one of those, but any video you want, you can ask a question of any sort. Someone says, I felt a huge shift this week to focus more on my physical health and nurture myself way more than I ever have been. That's great. My angels seem to be putting emphasis on diet with leafy greens and morning routine. Ooh, very nice. Sounds like you're hearing accurately. Do they have any other advice? They do, but I think the thing is, what do you need to clear to be able to hear even more good stuff? Because when you hear it from your angels, it's better than if you hear it from me. So, and then it's like 24/7, they're always trying to advise you. So you want to keep clearing. So the breakthrough is now you can hear stuff that they've been really wanting you to do for years. And so now you can hear it, whereas before you couldn't. So that's something, yay, good for you, So you could kind of imagine your angels and you and what cleared in between you and your angels so that now you can hear this advice about leafy greens and the morning routine. And, so maybe there was like a big brick wall there that's not there, right? So what else is there in between you and your angels blocking even more advice that they'd like to give you? And just look at that and clear that. So maybe there's like a black wavy curtain, in between you and your angels, and so you can work on clearing that. Maybe there's some boxes from your dad, and you can work on clearing that. And so because the more you can hear your angels more accurately, and there's not just some things you can hear and a lot of things you can't, then the more you tend to have these breakthroughs and start doing new things in your life that you maybe ideally could have done 10 years ago, but we're all human and we grow at a certain rate. So good for you. So I'm not gonna exactly answer it the way you wanted, but I would use that as a reading tool and validate that, yes, something cleared between you and your angels so that you can hear that advice. So what else needs to clear in between you and your angels? And just imagine it as whatever you want: bricks, curtains, cloudiness, whatever, and just keep clearing so you can hear better and better. Someone says there's a lot of static in today's call, or maybe it is my PC. I don't think my laptop is noisier than usual. My laptop, has a fan on it. And so if I'm just working, I don't think the fan chips in, but I think the whole uploading and the software that, the OBS software, I think it makes the laptop work extra. So it kicks on a fan, but it's the same noise as usual. So if you hear it more than usual, I don't know. I mean, other people can let me know too. Do you hear more feedback than usual or the same? That would be interesting. Someone says, I started to feel super anxious with the chakra ungrounding. What you mean is when we did that extra process of melting away the junk on the bottom half of the outer surface of the chakras. Super nervous. So super nervous. So what is that? Super nervous is, usually feeling blocks in your first chakra or your first layer of your aura, right? So did mommy jump in your space? Did maybe you felt some blocks that were in your first layer that have been there all along, but now you feel them and you're like, oh, that's really uncomfortable. I feel anxious, so I don't think anything terrible happened. You didn't get whacked or anything, but yeah, your mom, you notice some stuff that your mom has been courting and still is courting in your first layer, and you're just more aware of it. You can feel it more, like a rock in your shoe. Whereas before your foot was all numbed out, you didn't feel that rock in your shoe, but now your foot is not numbed out and you're like, there's a rock in my shoe. So yeah, I would just say, keep doing it. It wasn't a bad thing to do. It's good, but also you can unblock in front of your first layer and your first chakra specifically, because anxiousness is an absence of courage and safety, which is first chakra. So I hope that helps. To get more of that red flow in your first layer, even in front of your first chakra and behind it. Someone says, thank you for the amazing healing. I am feeling my heart chakra glowing. I enjoyed the nurturing loop healing. Yes, unblocking the nurturing loop. I have been looking for ways to nurture myself and find myself confused on what to do. I pace a lot. May I have angel advice on where I'm getting stuck triggered? Thank you. Yeah, I would just keep doing the nurturing loop. You can look at your nurturing loop and find out, just see like a big muddy, junky, bulky mass. Where is the confusion as the nurturing energy tries to come back to you, and you're trying to use it on yourself? What is there that gets in the way? And then just keep melting it. Also, the exercise that was new today, the unblocking your needs mirror, NEEDS. So you see this, you make a mirror that represents, if you can see yourself in that mirror, that you're aware of your own needs. So I would think that exercise is exactly what you're trying to point out, the awareness of your own needs. So yeah, I would you could keep doing that exercise in particular. Unblocking your needs mirror. Pacing a lot, it's a compulsive habit, you know, kind of like eating chips, or, you know, I used to play with my hair a lot. I mean, I still play with my hair, obviously, you can see it during the live stream, but I used to go like this with my hair, like a lot, like do 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 like this. And every once in a while, I still do it, but I used to do it pretty constantly, like a couple decades ago. Compulsive behaviors are just, you know, it's like it's a little bit of an autopilot usually, and so part of you has popped out a little, and then your body just loops on a behavior or an action. So when you're pacing, I mean, I guess some people might walk back and forth as a meditative thing, and try to be in every step and breathe and just use, because walking can be a form of meditation. But it looks like what you're doing is not that, and it's just, you know, that compulsive thing, kind of like eating chips and not thinking about how many you're eating, or playing with your hair compulsively, or, you know, whatever. So I would say, you know, don't demonize yourself for doing it, but whenever you're doing it, you're scattered. Some part of you is out, some part of you is a little too triggered, a little ungrounded. So you could keep walking, but try to be in every step. You know, think of your grounding, unblock your grounding while you walk. Try to, you know, have a pace be a very meditative pace to your walking, you know, or just stop yourself on purpose. But, you know, but that's what it is. It's sort of an autopilot situation where you're not fully present, and so you're kind of stuck on an action. So you could do like blanket exercise and clear the energy blocks that got triggered, or stebs, like clear stebs, stubborn triggered energy blocks that are causing you to pop out and get stuck on an action like pacing. So hope that helps. I've been working on improving my health and boundaries, and this healing set has been so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. Someone says, thank you so much, Janet. Feeling great, energy flow. Any angel messages about love life, spiritual path? Thanks. And you're mentioning your name, which is helpful. You know, you can do like a love life garden, you know, if that's okay with you, if you like that image, or a love life beach, or, you know, just something to visualize as, okay, well, this is my energy for my love life, and just sort of see what it looks like right now, not what you think it should look like, but what it really does look like, and see maybe if there's like half of it that has a bunch of family energy in it that you can clear out, or, you know, energy from one of your exes that you can clear out, and just, you know, make it some pleasant, you know, comforting, enjoyable energy for you. You know, make sure it's what you want, you know. So even if you're not currently dating someone, you still have a love life space. You have love life energy that you're using to manifest your next relationship. So you can visualize it like a garden or a beach or something, and then tend to it, take care of it. Even just for a minute each day, but or 5 minutes now and then, or whatever, you know, but that seems to be what your angel's like. Someone says, thank you so much for the healing, Janet. You're welcome. I feel incredibly triggered. It's mostly sadness, grief, and terror. I can't release it properly. What's in the way? Yeah, it's not your energy. You're doing that group awareness thing that you do. You're feeling the sadness, grief, and terror of those around you. So, you know, it looks like a peace of mind issue. Like, I mean, yeah, you're feeling the terror, so that's first chakra, but it seems like what starts it is telepathy. So hearing nonverbal communication. So you're hearing like people screaming at each other and hating on each other, and just screaming in grief and screaming in terror. You're hearing all that. You're hearing the spirit sound of that through your fifth chakra and your telepathic mesh. So what I would say is, work that. If you want a video, there is a fifth chakra, fifth layer healing video. If you search Janet Wright, fifth chakra, fifth layer healing. But if you want to freestyle it, you're perfectly able to do that. Just, heal your throat chakra, your whole fifth layer, right? 765, fifth layer, and the telepathic mesh, which is like a gold flowy mesh right in the front of your fifth layer, right in front of your neck. And just repair the rips in it and melt cords from it so it's just nice and flowing, and then have your whole fifth layer and set your fifth chakra to like a nice light or medium blue color that you like, and have it so you can swim through your whole fifth layer and there's no like gross part. It's all like comforting and peaceful, and it's just you. Because I think that's what starts it. You hear all the terror and the fear and the anger and the resentment and the freakouts, and then you connect to it, with cords. So obviously melting cords is good, but I think the fifth layer and the fifth chakra are really helpful to do, work that inner silence, inner peace. So you don't, you can imagine maybe like radio dials, and just turn off the volume for the group anxiety, group anger, group whatever, turn that off. So you just hear your own inner thoughts. So I hope that helps. Yeah, I think it's just, again, you've done it before and you've gotten yourself out of it. So maybe some stretching might be nice too, just to reconnect to your body and just remind yourself, okay, I'm just one person and here I am, and I'm going to stop listening to everybody screaming and just be here. Extra fifth chakra healing might help, just to get that inner silence. I mean, your fifth chakra is repaired, but it's a little blocked. So when it's blocked, it's harder to just tune into only your silence and your thoughts. So I hope that helps. So this says, thank you. Love all the new techniques. Oh, good. I'm glad. So this says, I've been having fire in heart area since a couple of nights. I did follow some of the steps today. How did I do? My spouse is visiting her parents. How is she doing with these healings? I feel more light and relaxed now. I think I'm not going to be able to get to a lot of these, by the way, because I'm just scrolling down and seeing that there's more. Anyway, fire in heart area since a couple of nights. Yeah, I'm not really sure what you mean. Like, yeah, I'm not sure what that means. If you're talking about heartburn or you're talking about, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, your heart chakra, your fourth chakra in the center of the chest. Yeah, you could do some extra repair of astral and physical. It looks like your mother-in-law like hacked into the side of your fourth chakra. and so that's not very nice. But that's not really shocking. I think with your wife visiting her family, you were like, okay, I'm going to get my space now. And your mother-in-law's like, not so fast. So just do a little extra repair of your fourth chakra on the sides right there. She's doing okay with them, your wife. I mean, her mom's still in her space, but she is like nudging her halfway out so that she can get more of a healing. So that's interesting. So her angel's gonna be a thumbs up. I mean, it's like she's not going to transform overnight to be somebody who doesn't let her mom in her space, but she's taking her baby steps. So that's nice. But yeah, if you did want to be more specific about the heart pain, if you still have it, you could put that in your survey for tomorrow, because I don't really understand it. I mean, other than if it's just that fourth chakra damage, which it might be. So you could work on that. Oh, Smokey. Yeah, it's Smokey, like smoke. I call him Moki too, though. That's true, Moki. But yeah, he needs attention. Yeah, he always needs attention. All my animals need attention. Someone says, "Is it snowing where you are?" No, no, we haven't had much snow at all this winter. We have had like the last couple of years we've had Februarys that have been pretty severe. I mean, not severe by Chicago standards, but severe by Olympia, Washington standards. But this February, all we've had is like some cold, some below freezing nights. But if we have had snow, it's like melted by the next afternoon. I mean, it's knock on wood, it's been pretty awesome. So I'm liking it. I'm not one of those people that wants snow. Someone says, thank you. Any advice related to that theme I could work on to reduce feeling overwhelmed and anxious about work? You know, it's funny. I think that your angels show me this idea of stepping stones, right? Okay. And sometimes a job is a stepping stone. It helps you learn and it gives you certain life experiences. So then you move on after that to go to a different job or a different way of working, self-employment or a different job somewhere else. And you learn more there, and you learn more there, and you learn more there. So they're saying that part of why you freak out is that you compare your current job to what you ultimately want, and you sort of forget that you have to go from A to B to C to D. Like you would like to go just from A to E. And your angels are like, yeah, but we already have an optimized schedule here. Like it's not like we're sticking in steps for no reason. So I would say just work on with your angels, like seeing the steps that they've laid out for you so that you can be more at peace with the fact that you're at this job right now to learn specific things, to have specific experiences. It's not just some cosmic joke and mistake that you're there, because it seems like, you kind of resist what is wrong with your current job, whereas it's, there's a lot that you need to learn here and observe and grow from, and it's going to help you to go to the next place, to evolve, and it's all part of a big, good picture. So maybe just work on having more of a comforting knowledge of that. Because I don't think the boundary problems that you have at work would be too much for you. I think it's that you're in a head trip about that this job isn't the ultimate job that you want, and that is putting you in so much resistance that then the boundary issues that you're having are too much for you. So hopefully that makes sense. Just like work on, your stepping stones, and they're already optimized with you and your angels, and it's okay. It's not wrong that you're at your current job. So just try to stop judging yourself for being where you're at, and maybe think of what are you learning, or just somehow find some peace with what you're learning and experiencing, because it looks like your angels think it's good for you. So hope that makes sense. Someone says, thank you for the healing, feeling better overall. Is there anything I need to hear? Is there something going on with my throat chakra? It feels heavy today. I keep sending light to it. Well, that's nice. Yeah, you have some blocks right in the front, and so right here, and so the energy flows from the fifth layer into the fifth chakra, and then out the back of the fifth in the fifth layer, and then flows in the front, right? So it and it goes all around, so it flows in and back and then around, or in and back and then around to the front and in. So this front river right here, there are too many blocks like right in front of your throat. So the energy as it flows, it kind of presses the blocks into your throat chakra. So it's kind of like, so it's nothing serious. It's just energy blocks right here. So just keep clearing those. You know, just imagine the blue of your throat chakra energy coming in, and maybe the blocks, you know, imagine them like black rocks and just keep melting them. So it's not exactly a problem with the chakra, it's a problem with right in front of the chakra, just a bunch of blocks there. Hi Janet, how am I looking today? I feel like this month's theme is so on point for me. I'm really excited about some opportunities coming my way, but want to make sure I'm not taking on too much. It's funny because the way you said, I want to make sure I'm not taking on too much, your angels are like, yes, you're taking on too much. So maybe work with your angels on what you're doing and what you're considering taking on, and what of that your angels feel like is too much, because they feel like they're trying to communicate some finer points of detail about what is good for you and what's not good for you, and you're mishearing a little bit. So there's a little distortion. So you could just imagine you and your angels and anything that distorts your hearing about like career decisions and career and even personal life decisions, and just look at the distortion, you know, imagine like walls or curtains or whatever, and just keep clearing it. It's kind of like the ratio is like 80% they're fine with, and it's just the 20% that they're not fine with. So there's, you know, it's like overall, it's not like you're completely mishearing them, but there's some fine tuning that they would like. That needs mirror, they like that a lot. They think that might fast track this situation too. So unblocking your needs mirror, that we did that as an exercise today, right after chakra repair. So they want you to give that one some work over time. But overall, you look very good. You're in all your chakras, flowing, cravings are fine, things are fine. You could maybe just do tummy meridians a little bit extra, you know, because it looks like, and unblock here in front, like 3, 2, 1. Because you have some energy kind of pushing at these energy blocks in front, and so that kind of compresses your tummy meridians. So you could unblock in front here, layers 3, 2, 1 in particular, and then, you know, just let the tummy meridians kind of relax. Someone says, hi again. I think I do a good job at self-nurturing. It would just be nice to have some external nurturing too. I thought I might have specific wounds I need to heal to manifest a nurturing guy. No, I don't think so. I think I don't think there's actually much that you need to do more for your love life. You know, turtle exercise could be nice. I think you've done, I don't know if you've worked that recently, but you may have worked that recently just to help with overall career stuff and, you know, interacting with people better. But if not, it could help career stuff too. Because it just seems like, you know, you changed everything in your life recently, you know, with a big move, and you're changing employment, all sorts of stuff. And so it just seems like part of you is kind of holding off love life. I mean, obviously subconsciously you're not trying to do it, but part of you is holding it off because you're trying to get like everything sort of sorted out with your daily life. And your angels think that you don't have to hold off your love life anymore. Like things are sorted out enough. You know, you're present enough, things are sorted out enough. So if you do turtle exercise, that helps you clear blocks that are causing you to subconsciously sort of push away social interaction, including love life interaction. So yeah, that could be a nice way to work it. As far as are you self-nurturing enough, there's something about it. It's like, yes, on the face of it, but your angels still want you to clear more. It's like, It's not having to do with this life. It's just past life stuff. It's very subconscious stuff. But so it's not like with you, it's not like you're not nurturing yourself, but there's some kind of it's like this part of the nurturing loop, you know? Just keep on blocking like past life stuff out of it. They just think it'll improve your life if you can clear more out of the nurturing loop, the self-nurturing part. Clear old baggage, other people's energy, old religious energy from past lives, just various stuff. You don't have to know what it is that you're clearing. Just clear the nurturing loop, especially the second half of it, so that it's more pure, the nurturing energy that you're giving to yourself, and therefore more effective. So I hope that helps. Someone says, thanks for your advice. It's been relatively quiet and peaceful around me. I think you mean in your home, but not in your... Anyway, do I cord the group energy on autopilot? Well, you hear telepathically. And then... Yeah, I mean, you're not doing it consciously. You're not like, yeah, I want to link up to everybody's angst and pain. But yeah, it's just an automatic thing. It's like as if you hear a car crash and you instantly like look out the window and your energy kind of goes to it. You know, it's like, oh my God, what just happened? You know, you're around, meaning within, you know, I don't want to, you know, give away too much personal information, but anyway, you're around a lot of shit going down, and your spirit is sometimes too aware of it, so it's disturbing. And if you heal your fifth layer more and your telepathic mesh more and your fifth chakra more, then you have more control over your awareness of the negative stuff happening around you. So I hope that makes sense. Someone else says, okay, thank you. You're welcome. All right, great. So Smokey and I both hope that you have a wonderful day or evening or morning, whatever's next for you. Right? Smokey's a very good cuddler. But he's very pushy, like on the countertops. Like he thinks everything is for him. All food, all everything. So, anyway, we could just end with Smokey. We'll end with some cat stuff. We always end with dog stuff, so we can end with cat stuff. What else about Smokey? I trapped Smokey. I humanely trapped Smokey in Chicago. He was an abandoned indoor-outdoor house cat that somebody had. All our cats are indoor only, but he was an indoor-outdoor cat. He was very young, and the people just moved away and left him. And so I trapped him, and he became a part of our family. So he's from Chicago. All our cats are from Chicago. And what else should I say about Smokey? Oh, he gets along with Zen, because Zen and Smokey are the two cats that we have now still, that have not become angel cats yet. And I was nervous that they would never get along because they used to sort of be arch enemies. But now that it's only the two of them, there's a bit of a truce. So they don't totally like each other, but they at least leave each other alone enough that she doesn't, knock on wood, she doesn't pee on our furniture. So that's nice. So that's enough for Smokey. Oh, we can end with him doing what he does, which is try to eat stuff that's not his. So there he's trying to eat my breakfast leftovers. Fortunately, there's hardly anything there, so that's why I'm letting him feel like he's winning. All right, you guys are amazing. Take care, and congratulations for working on nurturing yourself. And you can work this issue without specifically knowing concrete things that you need to do more about yourself. Just, keep clearing the blocks in the way, and then at some point you'll just find yourself doing something that is helpful to you, and you're like, oh, gee, that is more self-nurturing. So don't worry if you're not conscious of, I should start this new hobby and I'm motivated to do it. You know, just you can work it in the abstract without knowing. Okay, cool. So I'll show Smokey again. He's still being his mischievous self. All right, bye. Take care. You're awesome.